So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Canto 10, Samam Bonam, Chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods for Lord Krishna in the Womb. Text 37. Yeah, 10.2.37, right, Prabhu? Shrinvan Grinnan Samsmaryamscha Chintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalani Te Vyashu Yastrakcharana Vindayo Avishta Cheta Nabhavaya Kalpate Invan Grihnan Samsmarayam Chintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalani Te Kriyashu Yastvakcharana Pindayo Avishta Cheta Nabhavaya Kalpate Chinvan Grihnan Samsmaryayam Chintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalani Te Kriyashu Yastvakcharana Pindayo Avishta Cheta Nabhavaya Kalpate. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Even while engaged in various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed at your lotus feet and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms are always on the transcendental platform, and they can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. How Bhakti Yoga can be practiced is explained in this verse. Srila Rupa Goswami has said that anyone who has dedicated his life to the service of the Lord, Iha Yasya Harer Dasya, by his activities, his mind and his words, Karmana Manasa Gira, may stay in any condition of life, Nikila Aspapi Avasthasu, and yet is no longer actually conditioned, but is liberated. Jivan Mukta Sa Uchyate. Even though such a devotee is in the material body, he has nothing to do with the body, for he is transcendently situated. Narayana para sarve na kutasya na bibhyati. Because a devotee is engaged in transcendental activities, he is not afraid of being materially embodied. Illustrating this liberated position, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed, Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhaktera hetuki tvai. All I want is your costless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Even if a devotee by the supreme will of the Lord takes birth in this material world, he continues his devotional service. When King Bharat made a mistake and in his next life became a deer, his devotional service did not stop, although some slight chastisement was given to him because of his negligence. Nad Muni says that even if one falls from the platform of devotional service, he is not lost, whereas non-devotees are lost entirely because they are not engaged in service. Bhagavad Gita 9:14 therefore recommends that one always engage at least in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavritam namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. The great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. One should not give up the process of devotional service, which is performed in 9 different ways. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. The most important process is hearing from the Guru, the Sadhu, and the Shastra, the spiritual master, the saintly Acharyas, and the Vedic literature. Guru Shastra, Sadhu Shastra, Guru Vakya, Chittete Koriya. We should not hear the commentaries and explanations of non-devotees, for this is strictly forbidden by Srila Sanatana Goswami, who quotes from the Padma Puran, Avaishnava, Mukhodgirnam, Putam Harikatamritam, Shinvatam Naiva Kartavyam, Sarpochishtatam Yathapayah. We should strictly follow this injunction and never try to hear from the Mayavadis, impersonators, voidists, politicians, and so-called scholars. Strictly avoiding such inauspicious association, they should simply hear from pure devotees. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends Sri Guru Pada Ashraya. One must seek a shelter at the lotus feet of a pure devotee who can be one's Guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises that the Guru is one who strictly follows instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Yarade Gitare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. A juggler, a magician, or one who speaks nonsense as an academic career is not a guru. Rather, a guru is one who presents Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's instructions as it is. Shravan is most important, so one must hear from a Vaishnava sadhu, guru, and Shastra. The word kriyashu, meaning by manual labor or by work, is important in this verse. One should engage in practical service to the Lord in our Krishna consciousness movement. All our activities are concerned upon distributing Krishna literature. This is very important. One may approach any person and induce him to read Krishna literature so that in the future he also may become a devotee. Such activities are recommended in this verse. Kriyashu yastuchararavindayo. Such activities will always remind the devotee. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Such activities will always remind the devotees of the Lord's lotus feet. By fully concentrating on distributing books for Krishna, one is fully absorbed in Krishna. That is Samadhi. Priya Shuyastvak Charanaravindayo. Okay, so we just read the purport. So how this was muted? Okay, okay. So, okay, let's read the translation once again. Even while engaged in various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed at your lotus feet and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms are always on the transcendental platform, and they can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport here that those whose body, mind, and activities are always engaged at the lotus feet of the Lord, Yasya Hare Dasya, Karmana Manasagira, Nikila Swapi Avasthasu Jivan Mukta Sa Uchyate. Such people are liberated. They are liberated from the shackles of this material world. Next, Srila Prabhupada is quoting the verse which sung by Lord Shiva in glorification to Chitraketu Maharaj. So after Chitraketu Maharaj was cursed, Chitraketu Maharaj very humbly accepted the curse, accepting his mistake and paying all respects to uh, to Mother Parvati. And what was the curse? To become a demon and to lose all his heavenly powers, all his kingdom, everything. Immediately become a demon. And he accepted that. So Lord Shiva started dancing in ecstasy, saying Hari Bol, seeing the Vaishnava behavior of Maharaj Chitraketu. And there is verse is quoted, Narayana para sarver na kutaschana bhibyati. That one who is always engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, it doesn't matter to such a person where he is put. So he is not afraid of any bodily engagement, any kind of bodily embodiment. And then Srila Prabhupada is quoting, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, Mama Janmani Janmanishware, Bhavatat Bhakti Rahe Tu Kitoi. That I want to continue doing devotional service birth after birth, whichever birth you give me. So Prabhupada explained that this devotional service, having once started, in the next life also it continues. For that he gives the example of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj is given very slight punishment because of his negligence. Only he was in a body of a deer, but his consciousness was that of a human being. And on top of it, he could remember his past life. So he was given a lot of benediction and help to be able to continue his devotional service, which he did in his dear body. So the flow of devotional service doesn't stop. Actually, Srila Prabhupada explains in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada says that one should program one's life in such a way, one's day in such a way, that uh, 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 one is able to chant and serve Krishna 24 hours a day, Prabhupada says. And we have to plan and engineer our lives in such a way that 24 hours a day one is Krishna conscious. "24 hours a day one is Krishna conscious." Then what kind of situation one is in does not matter. Because so this comes by planning, this comes by engineering. We have to design our life in that such a way. We have to design the activities of our life in such a way. And therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami explains that anything which is conducive to our Krishna consciousness, this Krishna consciousness 24 hours design, that should be accepted in life, and which is not conducive, that should be rejected in life. Anukulena sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. So that's planning, that's engineering. Let me put this component, let me not put that component, so on. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the same purport, and Prabhupada says, as far as our Krishna conscious movement is concerned, we are not just speaking about 24-hour remembrance of Krishna, but we have practically chalked out a program where devotees are conscious of Krishna, or devotees can be conscious of Krishna 24 hours. So Prabhupada said, we have chalked out that kind of program. In 24 hours, devotees can be conscious. So what is the program? In proper times, for Mangalarti, so Mangalarti class, Mangalarti will happen, class will happen. After that, services will start. So there was no japa time. So 4:30 Mangalarti class, and then devotees go for service. I think it was like that. So devotees used to do 2:30 morning program. So we should not feel very great that we are doing 3:45 morning program. Proper times devotees would do 2:30 morning program. 2:30, 4:30 japa, 4:30 Mangalarti. After Mangalarti, proper go for morning walk. After he comes back from morning walk, Bhagavatam class. After Bhagavatam class, Samprasad, immediately service. Till 6:30 p.m. service. What is service? Sankirtan, book distribution. Devotees would go out every day. Sankirtan, book distribution. And then they would come back 6:30. They would come back, then Gaur Arati, Bhagavad Gita class. After that, some little prasad, and then Krishna book reading, and take rest by 9 o'clock. So practically, whole day of spiritual engagement. Prabhupada said we have a practical program. We have chalked out a practical program in which one can be Krishna conscious. In which one can be Krishna conscious. So, therefore, Prabhupada speaks about this engagement in devotional service. And therefore, Prabhupada is stressing on the aspect of practical devotional service. That practical devotional service has to be performed. And then Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport that how, when Prabhupada is talking about practical devotional service, Prabhupada is saying that our program is book distribution. We are engaged in meeting, doing book distribution, and by that fashion, our mind is absorbed in Krishna. And that's a very good service because it can bring so many people to Krishna consciousness. So our agenda is book distribution, Prabhupada is saying. That is practical devotional service. Whole day. So devotee's disposition should always be how to share Krishna's message far and wide to more and more people. Then different material situations can different material situations can just provide, or different material situations can just provide different grounds on which one can share Krishna consciousness. That's all. Like say in 1966, so two of Prabhupada disciples, I think Shyam Sundarpan and Malti Mataji, they told Prabhupada that they are going to San Francisco because they are relocating professionally. Probably their job was shifting or something like that. Prabhupada told them, so Srila Prabhupada told them, oh, you are going to San Francisco? So all devotees were there in New York. And then they informed, I think two couples were there. Shyam Sundarpa was one of them. So they said they are going to New York. Prabhupada said, oh, you are going to New York. So Prabhupada said, you are going to San Francisco. Try if you can open a temple. Try if you can open a temple. So now they are relocating. Prabhupada said, try if you can open a temple. And they actually opened a temple. 1967, Prabhupada himself went to stay there now with them. So the temple opens. So therefore, you see, material situation, when the attitude is of service, that servitude, that yes, let me be engaged in Krishna's service, then different material situations just become different grounds for one to preach. Prahlad Maharaj did not cry, oh, I should have been born in Narad Muni's ashram. I mean, he was actually born in Narad Muni's ashram, but he was taken out of Narad Muni's ashram and put in Hiranyakashipu's palace. Actually, he was born in Narad Muni's ashram only. But now Prahlad Maharaj can very easily cry that, oh, let me, now it would have been so nice if I would have just continued in Narad Muni's ashram. Life would have been ecstatic, hearing, chanting, serving my spiritual master. So, Prahlad opened his eyes, he was in front of all demons. everywhere, all around demons. Then he was put in school, all demons, everybody. So Prahlad Maharaj didn't keep crying that, oh, what providence has kept me in such a dangerous position. Actually, it was a dangerous position, but Prahlad Maharaj did not crib. He said, oh, if I would have been in Nand Muni's ashram, what would I have done? I would have chanted, I would have heard. So he said, okay, now I cannot directly hear, but I have tapes, so I can hear tapes. So he used to hear tapes because he had recorded those tapes in his heart. So he would rewind, he would refresh those tapes. And he said, chanting I can do anywhere sitting. So he would always chant. And he said, my Guru's service. Now, what is my Guru's service? To introduce people and bring more people to Krishna consciousness and share Krishna's message with people. So he saw around him were demonic personalities, everybody. So he caught hold of them only. In his school, there were all demoniac children. So he caught hold of them, started speaking Krishna Katha. That was his service to spiritual master. In this way, na kutasya na bibhyati. Prahlad Maharaj was unaffected. So actually, Prabhupada is teaching us that in a very practical way, that the Sankirtan, book distribution, that we should make as the very rhythm of our life. Wherever we go, whatever we are doing. So where we are going, what we are doing, that is simply different grounds. But the content which is coming out of us should be the same, the Sankirtan, the book distribution. And then if people are willing to hear, sit down wherever they are and give a class. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, when he would go in train, in different stops, train would stop. Suppose, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj is going to Delhi, suppose. In between, the train is stopping at 10 different stations. Every station, the train would stop for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like that. And he would come out on the platform, and so many devotees would be there around, and he would give class. The train will start, then again he'll board, like that. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was like that, Even 10 minutes he would not waste. A 10 minutes opportunity to preach, that also he will not waste. So, this is what Srila Prabhupada is talking about, that one has to practice one has to practice the service to such a fervor that external situations cannot hinder, rather they just provide different grounds for one to start preaching. This is only possible when one has only one business, that is Krishna's business. Krishnera sansara kari chhadiya nachar. Jiva daya Krishna nam sarva dharma sar. So therefore one has to do Krishnera sansar, chhadiya nachar. Jiva daya Krishna nam sarva dharma sar. The Krishna Nam, the chanting of the holy names, and the compassion on the living entities, it is Sarva Dharma Sar. Sarva Dharma Sar. And this should be the mission of our life. And this is what we should practice. Therefore, actually, Krishna consciousness should be seen as an urgency. Every day in our life should be seen as a marathon. And okay, today, what am I doing for Krishna service? Every day of our life should be seen as a marathon. That yes, Krishna service. And when we have that disposition, then we will see that material situations will very soon stop imposing impediments. And to such a devotee, nothing can hinder. Such a devotee's progress in Krishna consciousness. Let's stop here for today. Rebo, do you have any questions? Okay, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Rebo. Hare Krishna.